Hello everyone! Welcome back to Victory Education Lounge. I'm Maurice, your host, and today we're diving into one of the most powerful tools in the fight against malaria, community engagement grassroots efforts in malaria prevention. Before we jump into this exciting topic, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel asterisk, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. And as always, I love hearing from you. So leave a comment below, sharing your thoughts, questions, or experiences with community efforts in fighting malaria. Let's make this a space for learning and dialogue. Now, let's get into it. When we talk about battling this disease, we often think of high-tech solutions, government initiatives, or large-scale global efforts. But there's a force out there, unsung and often overlooked, that is perhaps one of the most potent weapons in our arsenal against malaria: the power of community engagement. Picture this: a local community, armed with the right knowledge, tools, and motivation, takes the fight against malaria into their own hands. They know their environment, their people, and their challenges better than anyone else. They are the first line of defense, the eyes on the ground, the hands that can distribute bed nets, administer tests, and offer treatment. Community engagement in malaria prevention is about empowering these local communities, giving them the tools and knowledge they need to protect themselves and their neighbors. It's about fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility, about harnessing the power of collective action for the benefit of all. Imagine community health workers, trusted members of the community, educating their neighbors about malaria, distributing insecticide-treated bed nets, and offering diagnostic tests and treatment. Imagine village leaders, influential figures in their communities, using their sway to promote healthy behaviors, like using bed nets, eliminating mosquito breeding sites, and seeking early treatment when symptoms arise. Think about schools, the breeding grounds for the future generation, becoming hubs for malaria education campaigns, teaching children about the importance of prevention and the steps they can take to protect themselves and their families. In this battle against malaria, every community member, from the smallest child to the most respected elder, has a role to play. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal of malaria prevention. It's about harnessing the power of community, the strength of unity, the force of collective action. So you see, local communities are the unsung heroes in the fight against malaria. They are the boots on the ground, the hearts and minds that can make a real, lasting difference. Their power, their potential is immense, and it's about time we recognize that. Let's turn our attention to the first of our case studies: community health workers. These unsung heroes are the backbone of grassroots efforts in malaria prevention. They are the foot soldiers, often volunteering or working for minimal pay, embedded within the communities they serve. Trusted and respected, they are the human face of healthcare in many malaria-endemic regions. The role of community health workers is multifaceted. They are educators, spreading awareness about malaria, its symptoms, prevention methods, and treatment options. They distribute life-saving tools like insecticide-treated bed nets and provide diagnostic tests and treatment. They ensure that even the remotest corners of their communities have access to these essential malaria prevention tools. But it's not just about the tangible resources. Community health workers also foster a sense of ownership and responsibility within the community. They empower individuals and families to take proactive steps in safeguarding their health and the health of their neighbors. However, their work is not without challenges. These local heroes often rely on external funding and resources, which can be unpredictable and inconsistent. This lack of stability can limit their ability to work effectively over the long term. They may face logistical obstacles like difficult terrain and transportation issues that make reaching remote areas challenging. Additionally, they need to navigate complex cultural and social dynamics, ensuring their efforts align with local customs and beliefs. Yet despite these obstacles, community health workers continue to make a profound impact. They bridge the gap between large-scale health initiatives and local realities, translating global strategies into effective, culturally appropriate interventions. They build trust and rapport within their communities, increasing the likelihood that health interventions will be accepted and followed. Indeed, these local heroes are making a huge difference despite the challenges they face. They remind us that in the fight against malaria, every effort counts, every contribution matters. And quite often, it's the actions at the grassroots level by dedicated individuals like community health workers that bring about the most sustainable and impactful changes. Next, we delve into the role of village leaders in malaria prevention. Village leaders, they are the pillars of local communities, the individuals everyone looks up to for guidance and direction. They are the voices that echo through the villages, the voices that instill values, norms, and behaviors. So imagine the power they hold when it comes to shaping health behaviors, particularly in the fight against malaria. The influence of village leaders cannot be understated. They are the keepers of local culture and tradition, and their words carry weight. When these leaders advocate for malaria prevention practices, they can cause a ripple effect that permeates the entire community. They can rally their people to use insecticide-treated bed nets, to clear stagnant water bodies that serve as mosquito breeding grounds, and to seek prompt treatment when malaria symptoms surface. Imagine a village chief, respected by all, standing in the village square and passionately advocating for the use of bed nets. Picture them leading by example, hanging a bed net in their own home, or encouraging community members to seek early diagnosis and treatment when they are unwell. This is the power of influential advocacy, and it's a power that can significantly sway the course of malaria prevention. However, it's not always smooth sailing. Engaging village leaders in every region can be a daunting task. Furthermore, some leaders might resist new interventions if they perceive them as conflicting with long-standing traditions. For instance, the use of bed nets might not be readily accepted in communities where people are accustomed to sleeping under the open sky. These cultural nuances need to be understood and respected. It's about finding the balance, about integrating new health practices without eroding the fabric of local traditions. It requires dialogue, patience, and a deep understanding of local customs and beliefs. Thus, the role of leaders in shaping community behavior is pivotal, even with the potential cultural conflicts. It's about leveraging their influence to nurture a culture of health, a culture where malaria prevention is not a foreign concept, but a way of life. Our third case study focuses on the significance of malaria education campaigns in schools. Schools play an instrumental role in shaping the minds and behaviors of the younger generation. They're not just centers for academic learning, but also spaces where children learn about their role in society, their environment, and how they can contribute to the betterment of their communities. Now imagine integrating malaria prevention education into this learning environment. Schools become hubs of information, disseminating vital knowledge about malaria's causes, symptoms, prevention, and treatment methods. Children learn about the importance of using insecticide-treated bed nets, eliminating mosquito breeding grounds, and the urgency of seeking medical help when malaria symptoms are noticed. But the impact of these education campaigns extends beyond the school boundaries. Children, equipped with this knowledge, become ambassadors for malaria prevention in their own homes and communities. They share the information they've learned with their families, encouraging them to adopt preventive measures and to seek early treatment when needed. These school-based education campaigns also foster a sense of ownership and responsibility among the children. They understand that they have a role to play in the fight against malaria, something that can help build a generation of proactive, health-conscious individuals. However, implementing these education campaigns is not without challenges. Schools, especially in remote areas, often face resource constraints. Limited access to teaching materials, lack of trained educators on the topic, and sometimes a lack of prioritization of health education in general can be significant hurdles. Moreover, the effectiveness of these campaigns is highly dependent on the receptiveness of the children and their parents, which can vary widely across different communities and cultures. Despite these challenges, the potential impact of malaria education campaigns in schools is immense. They not only educate, but also inspire action, fostering a sense of community responsibility in the fight against this deadly disease. Through education, we empower our children to become ambassadors for malaria prevention in their communities. To sum it up, let's look at the big picture. When we zoom out, it's clear that community engagement is not just a nice idea, but a vital part of the fight against malaria. It's the people on the ground, those who live and breathe the reality of this disease, who are often best equipped to combat it. Let's revisit our three examples. Community health workers, those unsung heroes, are the first line of defense. They provide essential education, distribute life-saving tools like bed nets, and offer diagnostic tests and treatments. They are trusted figures within their communities, increasing the likelihood of acceptance and adherence to health interventions. However, their effectiveness can be hindered by inconsistent external resources and funding. Then, we have village leaders, who wield significant influence within their communities. Their deep understanding of local cultures and communication styles can be harnessed to promote healthy behaviors, such as using bed nets, eliminating mosquito breeding sites, and seeking early treatment. Engaging these leaders can be challenging, and they may resist new interventions if they conflict with long-standing traditions, yet their potential impact cannot be overlooked. And finally, we've discussed the power of malaria education campaigns in schools. Children are the future, and educating them about malaria prevention can have a ripple effect, influencing their families and communities. So what does this all mean? It means that in the fight against malaria, every voice matters, every effort counts. It's not just about the big international organizations or the government bodies, it's about the community health workers, the village leaders, the teachers, and the students. It's about you and me. Because when we empower local communities, when we tap into their unique understanding of their environment, when we respect their cultural norms and values, that's when we see real, sustainable change. We must remember that malaria prevention isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. It requires a multitude of strategies tailored to the specific needs and circumstances of each community. Remember, every effort counts, and together we can make a significant impact on malaria prevention. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize that there's still so much to learn about malaria. This video is just another step on our journey to understand and combat this disease. In the coming weeks, we'll continue to dive deeper into each aspect of malaria, from its life cycle to the latest research and vaccine development. If you're passionate about making a difference, I invite you to support the fight against malaria by visiting United to Beat Malaria. You'll find the link in the description below. Together, we can help save lives and create a healthier world. Every contribution, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to a world free from malaria. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we can unveil the truths about malaria and join the battle to end this global menace. Disclaimer: the information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Any health-related decisions should be discussed with a licensed physician. Always seek the advice of your doctor or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition.